Hmm. How's everyone doing? If I don't get any viewers, that's fine. I'm just going to just do my regular live and hopefully people can replay it, people can like it, and so on. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Anyways, it's been a hot minute. I sometimes forget to go live, but I've been trying to focus my energy around my household. Been trying to organize my room, for instance, which is challenging because I tend to, um, what is it? I tend to have too many items that begin to clutter up the space, and because I don't know where to put stuff away, I end up placing everything everywhere. But it's helping me a little bit. I feel that I'm gaining my zen little by little, but it's hard to keep it all together when you don't want to do anything. But I'm doing it slowly. I'm getting there. I thought of just doing a quick live and just sharing my perspective as usual. That's what I enjoy about going live. I just enjoy sharing my perspective and seeing what's going on if I get the chance. Plus, it is a good outlet when you need to vent a little bit. As long as you don't go TikTok crazy, you should be fine. There's a difference, when you're having an emotional breakdown, try to keep it as light as possible. Don't go haywire, don't go screaming, don't throw pots and pans. If you go live and you're just in the mood to throw pots and pans, then you might want to reconsider that idea. I'm essentially just trying to find peace, even though I prefer the opposite. I prefer mayhem. For me, I just don't know how to fully embrace it. It would be nice if I had someone who could teach me the ropes, because it would make more sense from a different person's perspective. I'm here drinking my flapjack mocha, just trying to unwind a little bit before I start my workout. It probably doesn't go well together, especially because when I do workouts and I have a drink beforehand, usually I end up with the runs. But I need to wake up. I don't have a lot of energy today. Well, my energy seldom. It's probably because I've only slept a handful of hours, at least the past 3 to 4 days. That could be a reason why as well. On the flip side, I had fun going to the fair. That was a nice distraction. Usually I don't distract myself too often, but I decided, well, why not go to the fair? It was definitely a nice reprieve from hustling in life. I don't mind a little hustle, but when you hustle yourself away without any distractions, it can make you feel miserable. Mm. Mm. All I can hope is that since the year's almost over, I can start next year with a new purpose in mind. Essentially getting myself out of the gutter I've been because this year has been different. I won't say it's been bad, but it has made me look in the mirror more than I'm willing to admit. It's made me look in the mirror in a way that scares me because most of the time when it comes to my own imperfections and flaws, I tend to turn a blind eye. I always hope that whatever I'm going through will go away. But for some reason this year, I just feel that all my defense mechanisms are down. I don't have the easiest time putting a wall up. And it just goes to show you it's important to always keep inventory in life. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to say you're always going to have what is it, like a good head, on your shoulders and you're always going to be able to figure it out. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. But it's important to keep inventory at some point because you might just end up losing yourself in the shuffle at some point or another. You might just end up feeling lost in your own thoughts and feelings, wondering, why did this happen? How did it get this far? But it's most importantly, especially for people who are introverted, who have low self-esteem, and the whole nine yards, it is time to reclaim your power. Don't worry how your power looks. I don't know how mine is supposed to look. Sometimes we get caught up with the specifics, we get caught up with the details. Don't get caught up because eventually you'll get stuck in the minutia of it all, and then you'll just wonder, why did I worry so much? Why did I invest so much of my time worrying about a specific answer that works for me without actually putting the effort? Sometimes we worry about the outcome, we worry about our approach, we worry about the details, and because our energy goes straight to all of these categories, we somehow don't have enough energy when it comes to putting effort in ourselves. It is strange, but it can happen. Recently, uh, there have been a lot of things going around the news, but one of the most recent situations that caught me off guard was the Delta State University situation with that young man called Trey Reed, I believe. That was such an unfortunate situation. The poor man lost his life at a very young age, 30, not 31, 21, 21 years old. And it was a gruesome scene, especially for the person who encountered his untimely demise. I don't know exactly if this was a student. I believe from what I read, this was a student, but it could have been an instructor, could have been a teacher. I don't know 100%. I believe it was a young student that basically caught wind of the situation. It is unfortunate. Basically, they're saying so far that there's no foul play. This was apparently an S attempt. If it is an S attempt, then we are really going downhill, and we're going downhill pretty fast. I wonder if the Minnesota Crime Lab has figured it out, if they have the information readily available. I have not searched it. I don't believe it's out yet. Let me know if by any chance it's out. I've become such a softie. I can't. Hey, Navajo. Hi, Navajo. How are you? Am I having any mic issues, Navajo? I could be having mic issues. I don't know. I need to stop being so frugal and I need to get a new phone. I need to stop being. I've been frugal as hell when it comes to this phone. I can't seem to let it go. I need to let this sucker go. I mean, this phone needs a proper burial. I need to just put it on its casket and let it let it sink 6 feet under. And I just need to get myself a new phone. I need to get myself a new phone eventually because for crying out loud, I have freaking black tape attached to the back of this phone. Black tape doesn't get as sad as black tape. Um, I thought of putting crazy glue, but I got scared of the idea and I pulled back. I almost lost it to the point where I almost put crazy glue. And I said, "Not let me not make a whole mess here. Let me just go with the black tape before because I might accidentally press the tube too hard and it might touch the battery and, and I don't even want to imagine what might happen." Navajo, I've had this phone for at least 3 years now. This is actually the longest phone I've ever had. Usually my phones never really last long. Usually they last a year, maybe a year and a half. Most of the time they last a year. This phone has lasted me quite a bit. I will say though I'm kind of envious of my sister because I had a conversation with her and I never really have a lot of conversations with her, but she basically said to me more or less that she's had her phone, her own personal cell phone for at least 6 years. And I looked at her dead in the face and I said, "6 years? Your phone looks like it just came out of a box. How is your phone so pristine looking? How's your phone so pristine looking in it? 6 years? That's a long time. I mean, I'm not seeing a scratch in sight. Not even a single I don't even believe I saw a single scratch." Said, "I wish my phone looked like this." So Navajo, if you're still here, I don't know if you've seen the story about the Delta State University student. I'm trying to figure out if they came out with autopsy report. I don't know why I say autopsy report. I don't know if it's already been released. I don't know if it's still pending. I don't know what's going on with that story. And honestly, I'm just a softie these days because when read the article the first time about his passing, how his death took place, I don't know, it mortified me. It mortified me because I don't know what's the truth. And the truth is difficult to sort of digest if he actually committed the attempt himself. If he committed this S attempt on himself through a rope, that is scary to imagine. I'm scared of just knowing the details. But they're saying that he may have been a target of lynching as well. It is hard to tell exactly what's going on. What's the truth? I mean, but 21 years old, that's very young. 21. I mean, let me tell you something. If I was a student, because I believe the first person who noticed him was a student. Can you imagine going to your campus, going to the pickleball court, and seeing someone hang themselves? Well, not watch them during the act, but after the fact. Can you imagine how that must feel? I would feel petrified. If I am right on the money and the person who saw him especially was a student, my prayers go to that student because I think my soul would leave my body if I saw that happen. If I saw someone hanging, hang themselves in a tree, I would feel, oh my God, I can't even imagine how I would feel. Just even talking about it gives me the jitters. I don't even want to imagine how I would feel if I actually was in close proximity to a situation like this. I just hope that well, it doesn't matter what I think because he's gone, regardless if it was um, an S attempt or lynching. He's gone. In fact, I just want the autopsy mainly for his family, just for his family. I hope his family receives justice and they are able to figure out what happened to their son. That's all I hope for at this point. That's really all I hope for. Mm. Mm. But again, my sympathies and condolences go to that family. If I was in their shoes, I don't know if I would be able to live it down. I don't think I would be. I don't even know. I don't even know. What? Can you clarify Navajo? Uh, can you what? Can you clarify this for me? What do you mean? Navajo, I really hope so. At this point, it is sad. If he did, if he did take his life, let me just tell you something. I'm not. I don't know if I can believe it because it's hard to believe. I mean, people are unpredictable. You can't predict everyone's course of action throughout life. But I mean, if someone hangs themselves on a tree, is it is it really possible that someone would go that far? I mean, is it possible that someone would just do it? Oh my god, that I wouldn't have the guts to do it. Which is why I want to believe that this man lost his life, Trade Reed lost his life due to a lynch attack. Someone lynched him. And I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong, and I'm fine being wrong. But I just don't believe that he would go that far. If he did, then we are really effed as a country. We really are. I mean, if our mental health has reached that boiling point, then we are really effed as a country. Oh, Navajo. You know what? You're right. I struggle with it. Um, I made a huge mistake. A huge mistake. I thought that I was in a place where I could emotionally date again and put myself out there, but I have not recovered yet. I haven't recovered from my incident. I got too cocky for my own good, and I proceeded to date someone, and it blew up in my face. It blew up in my face. I thought I could handle it, but I think that's why I always run away from love because I can't handle the pressure of it. I can't handle the responsibility. I can't handle the vulnerability. And I end up screwing myself in some shape or form. I end up getting in my own way or I screw up somehow. And I'm trying to hold myself accountable. I'm really tired of allowing my mind. I'm really tired of allowing my mind to victimize myself. I really hate it. I really hate that I allow myself to get to that point. Yeah, I don't know when I'll date again. You know, I don't have anything in my schedule. Um, but I think I'm gonna have to take it much more slowly if I date again. Much more slowly. You know, I dated this person. We were together for we met, we talked online. I won't say we dated the whole time, but throughout the time we knew each other, it was 3 months, and within a month we made it official. And I think I went too quickly. I did this too quickly. I think because I've been single for 3 years, I think I justified it in my mind to date this person, but I should have taken my time. I should have just said, well, you know what? Take your time. Don't rush into anything. But because I've been single for 3 years, I guess I used that as leverage to create a relationship out of thin air. And I shouldn't have done it. I should have just been more smart. I should have used my mind. I should have used common sense, which I'm struggling with these days. I should have used common sense. I should have said, "Wait, hold up, pause, think about what you're doing." But I didn't. I thought, "Okay, well, it's been 3 years. I can handle a relationship right now." But clearly, that just wasn't the case. And it's been tough ever since, you know. I say that I haven't fully healed because ever since the breakup happened a month ago, I just haven't been myself. I just have been crying pretty much on a regular basis. And that's not usually within my character. Usually if I can classify myself when I break up with someone, I tend to bury everything in the past, my thoughts, my feelings, and my experiences with them. I just bury it in the past. I try to move on. I'm not saying that's healthy. I'm not recommending it, but that's sort of the angle I've always taken when I am in a relationship. Yeah, and sometimes I don't know why I am hard on myself. I don't have a good answer. I think I'm hard on myself because I don't want to turn this, I don't want to victimize myself because it's very easy for me to say, oh my God, I am such a victim. Look what happened to me. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to be kind to myself, but I don't want to enable any sort of victimhood act either. Because that seems to be my approach every single time something goes wrong. I immediately make myself the victim in the situation. It's like, oh my God, how could they do this to me? And I don't want to do that anymore. Maybe I was the victim. Maybe I was a victim, but being the victim doesn't get you far in life. And because I wasn't taught earlier on and I wasn't able to taught myself either, I failed to realize this concept. Let's see. Yeah, I have to work on it. I just don't know. Baby steps? Do we call this baby steps? Um, maybe it's baby steps. I have to learn I have to learn how to do this. How to, I guess, practice self-love. I'm very bad at it. If you gave me like a report card, I wouldn't blame you if you gave me enough because I struggle with it so much. Like if you asked me to write an essay on self-love, it would probably come across as self-hatred instead. I mean, I probably could write a whole essay about self-hatred, but if you told me to write an essay about self-love, I don't even know if I could make a whole page's worth of content. Yeah, that's true, Navajo. Uh, and this is what I will say. Um, I think I've taken on too much this year as well. I've been. Can you believe that I'm almost approaching a year since I cut my um PORN addiction. It's been almost a year. Almost a year. I pray to God that I can make it past a year as well. And that has been a very difficult habit to kick to the curb. And I always wondered what was the severity of this addiction? Like, did this addiction just make me fantasize about relationships instead of experiencing relationships organically? Is this why I failed being able to build and maintain relationships? I don't know the answer. I might have a hunch. Is PORN the reason why I've lived a life of isolation? you know, and I'm taking on a lot of habits. For instance, ever since May of this year, so we're gonna say it's been 3 months, approaching 4 months. I've been going to the gym for the past 3 months. It's going to be 4 months. Well, actually, it's 4 months. It's 4 months. Yeah, I've been going to the gym for 4 months. 4 months. First time ever I've done the. I've been to a gym, but I never did it for too long. Maybe one, two, three visits, and that was it. But nothing long term. And I've been going pretty much on a daily basis to the gym. So maybe between the PRN addiction, trying to cut the PRN addiction, and trying to go to the gym, maybe that's been overwhelming me. Maybe making all these changes has been overwhelming me. And then trying to take on a relationship on top of it, maybe that's another reason why I couldn't handle being in a relationship. Maybe I just put too much on my plate all at once. And of course, on top of it, I've been taking medication for my hairline because my hairline has gone straight to hell. I mean, I basically have struggled with my hairline for a few years. And I don't know what caused the hairline issue. I don't know if it was my thyroid, because I believe when what I read is that thyroid can affect your hair growth cycle. And I believe it was age as well, but I believe the main culprit was my thyroid because I've had thyroid issues, give or take, for almost a decade now. So I don't want to blame the thyroid entirely, but it wouldn't surprise me if the thyroid was the main culprit. And now, my hair is looking much better than before. Um, let me show you like Navajo. I guess I can show you. See that? Like my hair's looking much better now. Much better. Like this whole part used to be like completely like all of this used to be like bald. All of this was bald. All of this was bald. And I just had a little bit here. But now it's like my sides are coming back together. My sides are my sides are coming back together. And the reason my hair's kind of down right now is because I've been, what is it? I've been using that hair growth solution and I've been moisturizing my scalp. So when I moisturize my scalp, it looks very thin. But if I don't put any moisturizer, like my hair's poofy all the way up here. So when I put like aloe vera or any sort of moisturizer, it kind of just sinks my hair by a lot. But my, I won't say I've made like a total recovery, um, but it's getting better. It is getting better. Hopefully that bald spot I developed is also getting better. Again, I don't know what caused these hair issues. I'm gonna venture and say that my stress levels have been elevated to a degree this year that perhaps that has affected my hair growth as well. Because prior to this year, I don't remember ever having a bald spot. I don't ever remember having a bald spot prior to this year. And I think it has just been the elevated levels of stress that I've been experiencing this year that created that bald spot. But what I will say is that I'm trying here. Basically my sister needed to point it out. Hey, you have a bald spot. You got to figure that. Well, not a bald spot. She told me my hairline. You got to figure out what's going on with your hairline. You got to fix that. You gotta do something about it. I needed basically my sister to point that out because I was in complete denial. I didn't care about it. It's like, well, it doesn't look that bad. But when I took like a overhead screenshot of my scalp and I saw how bad it looked from the photo, that's when I said, okay, my scalp is like literally crawling out of my body. It's like it's taking 2 steps back. Too many, if you ask me. And that's why I decided, well, I gotta fix it. I gotta take the L, and I gotta take this serious. Before I lose whatever remnants of hair I have left. So again, I've been taking on a lot, and maybe I should have just taken this year off, and I should have not been worried about any goals or anything. But I feel that if I did that, I would have been wasting the whole year. So even if it goes against my good judgment, I decided, well, let me just use this opportunity to grow and evolve. And I've been doing this all of this without any antidepressants, without anything. No alcohol, no weed, no nothing. And it's kicking my ass. I'll admit, my mental health this year has been kicking my ass left, right, front, center. Um, and the best thing that I've been doing for myself lately is I've been watching some Buddha videos recently, and it's gonna take me a while to memorize everything from these videos. But one of the things that I've noticed that has made me miserable for the longest, and I wish I was taught this as a kid. I wish I was taught that. And I think a lot of kids need to be taught this lesson. But sometimes either we're dealing with overprotective parents or we're just not sure how to teach our kids or whatever the reason. But I wish I was told from a young age that life can be disappointing. And sometimes you just have to face it head on instead of running away from it. I wish I was taught this from a young age because then I wouldn't be so sensitive to failure. I wouldn't be so sensitive to bad outcomes. I wish I was just taught like if you go through something in life that doesn't go exactly your way, just understand that sometimes it wasn't meant to happen and move on. I wish that is the mindset I could have developed a long time ago. You know, maybe sometimes get a little bit offended or upset, sure, but not to the point where I crumble every single time something bad happens. And what I've learned through these Buddha videos, essentially, and what I still need to learn is that sometimes we live life thinking about the outcome instead of focusing on the action itself. So we're focused on or obsessed over the outcome of any situation without realizing that sometimes that's just completely out of our control. We want to control the outcome of every situation. and we want to tip that outcome in our favor. And that may work essentially. But what happens is eventually you end up feeling miserable because you have to micromanage yourself in every situation you're in. And that's the result of perfectionism, which I'm learning that perfectionism, while it isn't a bad trait as a whole, it does have its weaknesses. Essentially, you act perfect, you want to be perfect because you're afraid of failure or you're afraid of a bad outcome. And I never realized that. I had my own completely different definition of perfectionism. I just thought I perfectionism for me was just simply doing my best, and I took that as being passionate about doing my best. But I didn't realize that it's more than just being passionate about being your best or doing your best. There's a hidden element of perfectionism that I ignored, which is perfectionism isn't always going to give you what you want or need. Perfectionism just essentially becomes an excuse that we use to run away from disappointment. That doesn't mean we do it intentionally. In some cases, we might do it intentionally, but in most cases, we do this without realizing it. And I wish I had the wherewithal to know better and to say, hey, perfectionism, you need to kick it to the curb. You can't rely on perfectionism to get you through life because eventually perfectionism is going to prevent you from growing and evolving as a person. I'm not saying it as an expert. I'm not saying I'm an expert at it. This is going to be a difficult habit for me to kick to the curb because when it becomes part of your mental conditioning, you don't know better. In your mind, you think your perfectionism isn't as bad as you think. But when you go years and years implementing perfectionism, you don't realize, hey, this isn't good for me. This isn't good for me. You need to go through so much before you realize, okay, what is happening? Why is this happening? And you need to add all the pieces together to get the result you need, which is once I added all the pieces together, I realized I try to be too perfect all the time. That's okay, Navajo. That's okay. I appreciate you being here. You don't have to worry about responding. You, you being here is all that matters. I don't take it personally. I just really I really want to encourage people, but not from a place of being a know-it-all because I don't know anything most of the time. But I want to encourage people to make people realize that hey, I've been here and I want to guide you or encourage you because I've been in this position and I know the toll it can take on you. I know the suffering you can go through. So if I wanted to motivate people, it isn't like a you better listen to me or else, it's not like a I know more than you. It's not like I think that you need to listen to me to make your life better overnight. I'm not trying to come across as a guru. I wouldn't say that I'm a guru, like, oh, I know everything. take my advice and you'll be a different person the next day. I wouldn't say I wouldn't spin it that way. I would be the type where I would want to be a helping hand to someone who's struggling because I have felt misunderstood for a very long time. And maybe I didn't always convey that very well to others, but my point still stands. I've always felt misunderstood to an extent, and I never received a helping hand because most of the people I have discussed any of my issues, they tend to be like, "Well, yeah, I get it," but they're kind of very, what is it? They're not very concerned about it, so I don't get much leeway with them. I don't get, and I'm not expecting them to cry on my behalf or anything that outrageous. But they don't give me a warm reception. They don't say, "Oh my god, I'm sorry you're going through this." They don't offer they don't offer me advice. So, it's hard because it's not like I'm expecting a lot, but a little bit here and a little bit there from others is definitely the medicine I would have needed back then. Sometimes healing can happen through the help of others. Even if it's one person, all it takes to make your life better is one person. Now, don't rely on that person entirely. You need to put your own effort. But sometimes it only takes that one person to call you on your bluff and tell you what you really need to hear. And I wish I had that. I wish I had that person telling me, hey, you got to take this situation more seriously. You got to focus on this a little bit more differently. Because most of the time, the people I've had around me either didn't focus too much on my issues, they just didn't respond well to it. They gave me a cold reception, so I didn't really get any feedback from them. Or they just minimized it. And I was like, well, damn, I don't have a lot to work with here. It's pretty damn sad and it's pretty damn difficult, all wrapped into one. But the Buddha videos is teaching me more or less that I gotta let go of outcomes. I gotta let go of outcomes, and I don't know how I'm going to achieve this. I don't know how I'm gonna do it because at heart, I'm a worried wart. I worry about everything. It's like you can't tell me with a straight face to stop worrying because I don't know how to turn that mechanism off. I'm a chronic warrior. Not warrior, but warrior. Oh my god, they sound alike. They sound alike. But I worry about everything to an extent that it doesn't even make sense, to an extent that I can't even justify. So, it's important to and it's important to also let life manifest itself for you. Just let life manifest itself for you. Stop trying to manifest life for yourself. And what that means is manifesting life for yourself essentially means stop controlling every aspect of it. I've done that and you know what? I'm still going to struggle with it because that's just how I've been programmed for the longest. I'm still going to work at it. I'm still going to try to make changes. I don't know how much change I can make honestly, but The bottom line is you don't want to manifest your reality by your own worries or concerns. Because if you manifest life all the time by your own worries, your own anxieties, and so on, you'll be making the biggest mistake for yourself. Let life manifest things for you. Don't try to manifest things for yourself. It might not make sense, but what I'm saying is stop trying to curate a life for yourself. Let life take care of you. Let life take care of you. Stop trying to force life to be a specific way. Because the more you do it, the more you'll end up feeling like a victim. Like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Why does this keep happening? What did I do wrong? All the negative messages, all the negative affirmations will come home to roost and you'll feel miserable. But the reality is, when you let go of that resistance, when you stop trying to control everything in your life, I think that's when you have the opportunity to explore growth for yourself. And I'm just trying to let go of control and I'm trying to let go of outcomes. And I think this is what we need to do as well. And it's not going to look perfect and it's not going to be overnight and it's not going to be easy. There is no cookie cutter method to it. But you have to learn how to make yourself happy somehow. And I wish I would have known this sooner. But sometimes in life, beggars can't be choosers. All I really want to learn is how to practice self love and do right by me. Because I have a PhD in doing right by others, but I don't even have an associate's to do right by myself. That's how bad it is. That's the contrast right there. So that's what I'm trying to improve on. And I wish I just had the ability to be like a coach or a motivational speaker of some sort, just to guide people, just to be a helping hand for others who are struggling. It's not to be a whiz or a guru. It's just to more or less help people get out of their own funk, get out of their own mind. Because sometimes you can be the difference that changes someone else's life. Remember, just spend an hour about your worries. Yeah, I have to work on that. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to like meditate more when I wake up, especially. I'm gonna try to meditate more when I wake up, and I'm gonna try to meditate before I try to sleep. That's what I'm gonna try to do, just to sort of curb that anxiety that takes over, that anxiety that sort of spills throughout the day. And I'm just gonna try to address my worries on pen and paper, even if they don't make sense, even if they don't apply. I'm just gonna address the worries head on. I'm gonna say, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, write it down, reflect on it, and move on. That's essentially what I'm gonna try to do from now on. But um I just wanted to hop on and go live for a little bit. It was good to do it. I wish I had a platform where I could have a decent following where I could, encourage and motivate people. I feel that I deserve that to an extent. Having people here flocking to my live so I could just, motivate them in any way. I've always kind of wanted that type of platform for myself, but I'm okay either way. YouTube is something that isn't always my cup of tea. So I'll either take it or leave it. But it would be nice if I had the ability to have an audience, like kind of like a self-help channel, like come over here if you need some sort of help in your life. Like I would love to be a go-to channel where people could just derive inspiration so that their lives feel a little bit easier. But that's besides the point. I just wanted to come here for a little bit. I'm gonna be going to the gym in a second. Other than that, it was good to be here for a little bit. And if you want to help if you want to help me in any shape or form, you can just like the video or watch it later on. Again, it's up to you. Other than that, I'm gonna leave. You guys have a good one. Bye.